Hi everyone, good evening. Hi Krishan, good evening.
Hi Pankaj, good evening and good evening everyone.
Hi everyone, wish you all a very good evening and we welcome you to our webinar wherein we would be discussing about your pathway to US CPA. Before we really get in over there, one thing that I really want to start off with, and this is uh, more to really somewhere appreciate, Christian, that many of the students are really looking forward understanding what US CPA is all about. They have various questions, various concerns, various things that they have in their mind which they really need an answer for. And guess what, guys? Who can be better than Mr. Krishan Mishra, who we requested, and sir, we are grateful for you to really saying yes to us, and of course being here. Guys, just to introduce Mr. Mishra, and I feel all the more proud in terms of sharing this, that Mr. Krishan Mishra is the country head for Becker International, and heading the Asia Pacific and India as a region. And of course he has been instrumental in really helping CPA reach to where it has reached in India, to an extent that he is very much nitty-gritty in terms of the connections that he has with various students in the fraternity of CPA and so on and so forth. I know him from my past days in ACCA. He used to head the ACCA Northeast as a region, and I know him through those days, and he has been a great mentor to various I would say folks on the ground. And I'm sure the folks who are listening us who know Christian would really appreciate that he is a very I would say avid speaker and a writer too, because I have seen his various posts also, what he has really published. So we really welcome Christian, to you, very warm welcome to you for really joining us and being here, and of course be to really help our students know this qualification and the nitty-gritties around it. Very warm welcome.
Thank you so much, Pankaj, and it's a privilege to be here talking to the students, and you know that I love doing that regularly. So looking forward to a wonderful interaction today. Yeah.
Yes, thank you very much. And privilege is certainly ours, Christian, no doubt. Privilege is certainly ours. Before I really kickstart, guys, while I should have done that sound check earlier, but unfortunately, I think I forgot that. Just wanted to ensure that all of us are able to hear us, guys. Anybody who can really confirm that you are really able to see us and hear us rightfully. Good. Thank you. All right, guys, let's take this discussion forward. I think the best way to understand any qualification is to really go to the grassroots level and understand from the scratch as to what that qualification is all about. So, Christian, I'm not really referring any kind of presentation over here. While I do have one, let me tell you that, but I don't want to, since you're here, there is no point, referring to any presentation. I just wanted this to be very candid discussion for students to really know in terms of what this qualification is all about. So I'll start off asking you. Of course, I can give my take also, being a qualified CPA, but I really want it to come from you in terms of what this qualification is all about, and how students should be really understanding this.
Thank you so much, Pankaj, and I think I forgot to say thanks to you for such a wonderful warm welcome and introduction. But yes, I am quite similar to you in terms of whatever I have been able to achieve, right? So we are grounded as much as we can. So talking about the US CPA qualification, it is one of the largest professional accounting courses available in the world today. Started by AICPA, American Institute of Certified Public Accountant from USA, and is currently offered to students across 196 countries globally. When I say 196 countries globally, it also means that there are more than 450,000 people who are already professionally qualified like you, and who are practicing or working with the top multinational firms globally. right? So when we talk about US CPA as a qualification, which means that it is the largest accounting qualification which is there in the world today, which means that the students who are looking forward to this course would be part of that 4.5 lakh people, that family, and look forward to a career along with them. So that's a network which is there with the CPA course. Now, CPA qualification is the most sought after qualification for students worldwide, because obviously this actually helps you in getting into a career with a very large multinational company from US. Any US organization definitely will look forward to people who are qualified CPAs. The CPAs are in demand today, and the demand is such that we have got less number of people who are qualified, and the requirement in the industry is much more larger than that. So what I say is that there is a good demand and supply gap, and demand and supply gap is because of the opportunities which has been created across various countries today. In fact, India is one of the most chosen market today for the CPA qualified individuals, because what has happened is most of the jobs and employment opportunities which were there in US and part of Europe have been shifted to India, right? And these jobs are very, very close to us. The other thing is that the qualification actually practically tests your ability to understand and implement the various facets of accounting and finance, right? So this is a very, very practical qualification, very much application based. So in the examination, you don't see any kind of theory questions. However, you see only practical aspects, which will actually help you become work ready, right? So once you complete the course, you're work ready, and that's why the industry is looking forward to you to join them. And one more fact, which is really very important for the students to understand, is that there is not a single US CPA who is unemployed worldwide. So that's the power of this qualification, Pankaj. And I would leave it rest to you, because you're already a qualified CPA and you have seen a lot of things happening in your career because of this course.
And I couldn't agree more, Christian, on that. I think, guys, one thing that is certainly certainly to be taken up at the back of your mind is that this is a true international qualification that you would add on to your profile if you really need to add one. I can tell you, long back, and I'm a gray hair guy. So, I started my CPA like almost 20 years back. And since then, I've been associated with many of the students around the world. And, I feel proud in saying that I'm one of the oldest faculty of CPA in India. One of the, if not the only one of the oldest faculty of CPA, who has been instrumental in bringing and, of course, disseminating this qualification around the world. Now, when I did my CPA, we didn't had that much amount of opportunities. I did that because my firm needed it. I was part of Wipro at that point in time, and Wipro needed somebody who can really help us in terms of consolidation and the SEC reporting. Wipro being the US listed organization, they needed someone to really know the US GAAP, know the financials, know the SEC reporting, and so on and so forth. So it was more of a need-based decision that I took at that point in time. But over a period of time, with the advent of various multinationals and US nationals and Indian multinationals now being flourishing around the world, the job market for US CPA has gone multifold. Whether it is Big Four, and we only think that it is Big Four, many of us really correlate US CPA to Big Four, that, you will get a job in Big Four. Yes, you may get a job in Big Four for sure, but there are various other opportunities, various other multinationals that are really hiring CPAs day in and day out. Even Indian companies like Wipro, like Infosys, like TCS, and there are various other names being attached to it, consulting organizations, manufacturing organizations. There are organizations which are primarily into financial services, the banks, the financial services banks per se, the organizations which are like asset managers. I work for BlackRock, I work for BCG. These organizations are really looking forward to these qualifications because somewhere they have the connect in the US. And they have to comply with various norms. They have to comply with various regulations. And US CPA as a qualification really has it all. So it's a qualification, Christian rightly mentioned, that is one of the most sought after qualification. And there are reasons to it because, if you really want to go global, this is the one to really look forward to. And Christian, I couldn't agree more. You really mentioned it very well in terms of, the overall coverage. And being a qualified CPA, I can completely vouch out that yes, this is the qualification which has a very global acceptability. Guys, another thing that comes to us very often, being a learning partner for CPA, is that many of our students who come from very different backgrounds, some of them are graduates, some of them are MCOM, some of them are MBAs, some of them are CAs, some of them are not qualified CAs, but like in their midway in the chartered accountancy as an arena, they ask questions with respect to how would they qualify for this qualification, or what is the eligibility criteria for this qualification if they really have to pursue this. So I think one of the most, I would say, commonly asked question for US CPA is that how and what is needed for me to be qualified or eligible for this qualification. So Christian, why don't you speak up on that in terms of what would it entail for any student to be eligible for giving the CPA exam?
Thank you, Pankaj, for asking this question. And this is a very important question, considering that the eligibility for US CPA is slightly complex and not like the normal eligibility which is there with the other courses. And the reason is obviously because in US, the education system is 10 plus 2 plus 4, right? And for the graduation. However, we have got 10 plus 2 plus 3. Right. When I say 3, it means that after your 12th, you go for a 3-year bachelor's degree in India. However, in US, everything is 4 years, right? So there's 16 years of education and 15 years of education. Now, to be eligible for the US CPA qualification, it is really very important for us to have minimum 16 years of education, which means that most of the people who have just done their BCom, okay, across various colleges and universities, they do not become eligible for the CPA qualification immediately after their BComs. However, the BComs who are from NAC A or A plus or A double plus universities and colleges, right, and they have scored more than 60% marks in their graduation, they become eligible. Why? I'll tell you that. Normally, for each year of we completing our BCom, right, in India, we get 30 credits. So which means that we get 90 credits for our 3 years of BCom. However, the minimum requirement for few states is 120 credits, and majority of the states, Pankaj, is 150 credits. However, because we would like to fulfill the minimum of 16 years of education requirement, we are able to do that basis our qualification. In case we have done, say, a postgraduate qualification like an MCOM or an MBA, right, or a chartered accountancy, intermediate or final, right, we actually become eligible for the CPA qualification. However, it is always better for the students to not to just think that they are eligible, but better to consult the professionals. And in that case, they can very well consult Fintram Global and Pankaj's team in terms of identifying their eligibility and checking their eligibility before they apply for the US CPA examination, because we understand that international courses have got their own expenses associated, right, for eligibility check and then further for the examination piece. So it is better that you get it checked through the professionals rather than just thinking that I am eligible for this course, right? Whatever qualification you have got, it's always better for you to get the same checked. And in case, for example, you are a BCom from a non-NAC a university, then we will support you in getting through the same through the bridge course. So there's a bridge course which is being given to the students, and they are able to become eligible for the same. Now, BCom, BBA, right, or MBA, MCom, CA Inter, CA qualified, they become eligible for the qualification normally directly. However, in case you're not, we will support you through the bridge course, as I mentioned to you. Yeah, Pankaj, anything else you would like to add here?
No, I think that's pretty much, guys. And this is something which many of you keep asking day in and day out. And if I really have to bucket it up for you, we have various buckets for you to get qualified for being eligible for CPA. And if I really have to circle that down, if you are a BCom from a NAC, a college and a university, and you have scored a first division, then you qualify for it. You're qualified, you're eligible for sitting for the US CPA exam. That's one. I'm just trying to make things simple for you so that, there is no confusion as such towards the end that you may have in your mind. And guys, if you still have any questions, hold on to your breath. We will be coming on to the Q&A towards the end of the session, but I really want to bucketize for you so that you're not really missing onto it. Number one, if you are a BCom from a NACA university and a college, and you have that college or university is NAC A plus or A minimum, then if you have secured 60% of first division in your college, in your BCom per se, in totality, you will qualify for it. Now, second bucket is any BCom guy who is not from NAC A and A plus university or a college, but they have done their MCom along with it, then you are eligible for it. Coming on to the third one, guys, if you are a BCom from any of the college, NAC, which is not NAC A and A plus, any other college or university, and you have done your CA IPCC along with your BCom, then you again qualify for it. On the similar ground, if you're a BCom and an MBA, irrespective of where you have done your BCom from, and you have done your MBA finance along with that, you would be eligible for sitting out for the CPA exam. And towards the end, if you are a BCom and a chartered accountant or a CMA and so on and so forth, you would again qualify for this qualification. So there are various buckets, my friend, that you really need to understand, and I'm just trying to make it as simpler as possible for you to give you the context in the context of Indian scenario, that this is how you have to think about yourself. But if you have any other qualification or any other permutation combination that you may have, do reach out to Fintram Global. I'm providing the link any which ways in the description box below below this video. You can really come on to us, talk to us. We can really help you in terms of evaluating yourself, that would you be eligible for sitting out for this exam or not. But in case you're still not eligible, then we do have, Christian rightly mentioned, we do have a bridge course being available for you. You can come on to us, we can really take you through that course, and of course you'll be eligible for sitting out for the US CPA exam, and that can be done in parallel to your preparation for US CPA. Is that clear, guys? Yes, sir. Now coming on to, I think, Christian, another thing that many of the students have in their mind is, of course, sir, I am the one, who think that I need to do CPA. I got my, myself checked in terms of qualification, and I think I'm eligible for it. Now, what is the process? So many of the students want to understand the process, now that I'm eligible. Now, what would be the process of starting this as a qualification? So would you mind throwing some light onto that?
Yeah, thank you, Pankaj. And I think after the pre-eligibility check, I'm not saying it as an eligibility check because that is being done by NASPA later on. It is the best thing for the students to go ahead and enroll themselves for a very good prep course, the preparation course for the CPA. I can tell you that Becker is the worldwide leader in terms of the test preparation towards the CPA examination. In fact, Becker is synonymous to CPA worldwide. I would like to talk a little bit about my organization also here, and I will be slightly selfish, Pankaj, here, because it is important for me to let the students know about Becker CPA too. So, friends, Becker CPA was started in the year 1959 as Becker Professional Education. So we are around 62 plus years old organization working across 130 countries globally. Now, this qualification has evolved. We started teaching it face-to-face in the US initially, and then we moved towards the online teaching. And 15 years back, we started using artificial intelligence in our software. So our softwares are AI-based software, and wherein what we do is that we check the status of a student before we go ahead and allocate the education or the study-related areas to the students. So there's a good study planner which is there. Depending on the time you'll be able to spend, right? So, for example, you're a working professional, you can spend, say, for example, 3 hours per day, not more than that. Then the system will allow you to prepare your study plan accordingly. In case you're a normal student, wherein you have got ample time after your college and university, and you would like to prepare for your CPA examination accordingly, the software will tell you the study plan basis the same. And then the software will also tell you that these are the dates on which you should do your mock test. These are the dates by which you should be able to complete your session simulation exams, etc. And then finally, This is the place where you are going to write your final CPA examination. The date for the same will also be defined at the initial level itself. The system is so good that it will actually test your eligibility. And in case you are not ready for the exam, the system will come back to you saying that, sorry, you're not ready for the examination, so don't write the exam right now. And when you're prepared, thoroughly prepared, the system will understand that, and the system will tell you to go ahead and apply for your CPA examination. So that's what Becker's artificial intelligence-based software will do for you. And it's a very comprehensive package which is there available for you for a period of 24 months from Becker. Very comprehensive, because it covers all the 4 papers of the CPA examination, and it's completely online but very interactive, my friend. So that much I can tell you. And it tests your ability at each level. So after every chapter you have got various tests which are there. After a few of the modules, again you have got the tests, and then the environment for the test is quite similar to your AICPA examination when you go ahead and write the same at any of the Prometric centers in India. So that's the first thing which you need to do. And then post that, once you are ready and for the examination, you go ahead and apply for your NTAs, and then take the examinations one by one accordingly. Right before that, there'll be an evaluation check which will be done by the National State Board of Accountants, National Association of State Board of Accountants from USA, named as NASBA. They will go ahead and check your credentials and allocate the identification number for you for the CPA examination, and accordingly you go ahead and start writing your exams. Now, once you have registered for the CPA exam, my friends, it is really very important for you to understand that you need to complete the CPA, all 4 papers, within 18 months of time. So there'll be a time allocated for 18 months, and within that you have to complete all your 4 papers. Pankaj, if you'd like to add further. Yeah.
I think, very well covered. While, I did had my next question coming up, which was around Becker in terms of, really telling the students as to what Becker is really bringing onto the table. But good that, Kishan, you have covered it, very holistically in terms of, what Becker is all about. And guys, let me tell you, I am a student of Becker. Even prior to me being teaching, with the CPA, I was the student with Becker, and I can say this very proudly and very upfront that the content that Becker has is simply out of the blue, and out of the world, if I may say that, for the lack of a better word. But and the kind of benefit that the software has for you, and that is something that Fintram is now offering, in conjunction with Becker, because what we believe in is something that we really are really working on for. So we believe in the content of what Becker has been working on, and we believe in terms of the effort that has gone in terms of behind, in terms of creating that, and we have seen the results of also for that also, and proof of the pudding is in terms of eating it. And you can see the guy standing over here, sitting out here, who has qualified with CPA, and you can find every next person who has done CPA, he can really tell you in terms of what CPA content or Becker content is all about. So no doubt, Christian, on that, and fully with you in terms of what Becker really bring on table. And we as Fintram, in partnership with Becker, are really working forward in terms of disseminating this course, and of course working on this course along with them in terms of and of course sharing that with as many students as possible, so that they can also take the benefit from. So Christian, you have taken us through the overall I would say CPA as a course. We have also discussed about this as a qualification in terms of how would this be helpful. We have also discussed on in terms of how the eligibility of this course really looks like, and of course now we have gone through in terms of what Becker really bring on to the table. But if I really have to ask it from the student standpoint, what all subjects are there in US CPA for them to really qualify?
Yeah. Thank you, Pankaj, once again for asking this question. I would say that this is really very important for the students to understand when it comes to preparing for the examination. So friends, there are 4 papers in the qualification. The first paper is Business Environment and Concepts, which is known as BEC. Then we have got a paper called Financial Accounting and Reporting. Again, this is quite similar to the financial accounting that you have studied in your BComs and your chartered accountancy. However, it covers everything basis the US GAAP, not the Indian accounting standards or IFRS. So that's the biggest difference which is there between what you have studied and what would be there in the US CPA examination. And then we have got a paper on auditing, right? So auditing paper is there, which covers everything from internal to statutory to the external audit that is being conducted by the auditors across. And then the final paper is on regulation, wherein we cover the areas of tax and law, right? One point I wanted to share with the students here is that the BEC paper is evolving now. So there's a CPA evolution which is happening. And from January 24 onwards, which is the next year, the coming year, and I think most of you will be following in that, the students would be given an option, right, to choose from 3 papers. So BEC will be evolving into 3 papers going forward. And these 3 papers are very, very simply put, very much practical based on what the AICPA did along with NASPA, is that they went ahead and spoke to a lot of people across the industries and the academia, and basis their feedback, the CPA evolution has happened. So there are 3 new papers which are being carved out, other than the audit, the regulation, and the financial accounting and reporting. You have an option of 3 more papers, which is business analysis and reporting, then information systems and control, and tax compliance and planning. You can choose any of those 3 papers. So one point I wanted to share with you is that there'll be 3+1, 4 papers only. We are not increasing the number of papers to 6 or 7, right? It is just the change which is coming up, which will help you choose your specialization area. So in case you are interested in getting into business analysis and reporting, you can choose business analysis and reporting as a paper for yourself. In case you are interested in being a part of the information systems and the cyber related activities, then you can choose the the information system and controls paper for yourself. And in case you are interested in making a career in the field of tax and compliance, then you have the tax compliance paper, which will be there in front of you. So you can choose any of them, one of them, and then go ahead and write the examination. Right now, the situation is that in case you are able to do all the 4 papers, so BEC remains as BEC, and then the other 3 papers. But yes, from January 24 onwards, this is the change which is coming up. One more point wanted to share with the students here is, Pankaj, that the examinations, as I mentioned to you, are very, very practical. There won't be a single theory question which would be asked. The composition is 60% of the questions would be multiple choice or multiple task-based questions. And then you have got 40% of the questions which will be on simulation. So there'll be case studies which will be given to the students, and the students are supposed to attempt those cases during the examination. My friends, the examination is for a period of 4 hours, right? And 4 hours means 4 hours. And 4 hours is normally stretched beyond the normal, because in India, we are used to giving a 3-hour examination. Here, it will be for a period of 4 hours. And when I say multiple choice questions, just remember, along with that, I added a word task. Why task? Because each and every question has to be solved. You have to solve and get the answer. Don't assume anything. No, there's no need to make any kind of assumptions. There's no negative marking there, but it is really very important for you to go ahead and identify the right answer, for which instead of selection, you might be doing an elimination while writing the examination. So that is something which I just wanted to share with the students, Pankaj. Over to you. Yeah.
So I think, you actually answered my next question also, Krishan, that, what is going to be happening with BC and what is the CPA evolution is all about. So many thanks for that, because many of the students have this as a confusion in their mind, because they're in the dilemma that, when should they be starting, when they should not be starting. And I really want to touch upon on this, guys. Irrespective of whatsoever is happening in the CPA world, the ideal time to start CPA is right now, because you only and only have to consider your time. Forget about any change that is happening. The only change that is happening in US CPA is that the BEC as a subject is giving you the option for choosing from 3 streams, whether it is tax, whether it is IT, or whether it is the reporting piece. So you'll be choosing one field for giving the BEC exam. But all 3 other exams, we have 4 exams in CPA. We have FAR, Financial Accounting and Reporting. We have Audit and Attestation. We have Regulation, and then you have BEC. All 3 exams remains to be the same. Nothing that is going to be changed. Of course, the amendments and the latest things that they really need to add, that will keep on coming, but nothing is changing. The only change that is happening is with BEC, with 3 streams being given to you to choose from, and you'll choose one and you'll give the exam. Now, for you and for the folks who are thinking about starting CPA right now, let's say you start off CPA and clear your BEC exam right now. Just taking an example. If you clear your BEC exam right now, BEC is done for you. Now, CPA evolution is not going to be touching you any which ways because you have already cleared your BEC. There is nothing that you need to do onto it. The 3 streams that will come up from 1st January 2024 is not going to be impacting you because you have already cleared your BEC. Nothing to be done. And of course, you'll clear all the other 3 exams in the 18 months of time, as Christian rightly mentioned. The only concern that you may get along and of course may touch upon in case you're thinking about CPAs, only and only when you have cleared other subjects in the year 2023 and your BEC is left as on 1st January 2024. If that is the case, then only you have to choose from the 3 streams of BEC to choose one and give exam at that point in time. But guys, don't you think that the most advantageous and righteous way to think about this as a qualification is to start off BEC right now and clear BEC right away? And of course, keep giving the other exams as you may go forward. But those who would not be able to do it, the only change for you is you'll be choosing from one of the streams, one of the 3 streams that BEC would have after 1st January 2024. Prepare for it and give it. So there is nothing that should be stopping you starting your CPA, having an evolution kind of a thing onto your mind. There is nothing, my friend. There is there are a lot of rumors, in and around this. Don't get worried about it. Start your CPA right now. Save onto your time. Time is the essence. The earlier you would clear, the better you can do in your career, in your life, in your age that you may have. So do not wait for it. Christian, is that right?
Yeah. And I just wanted to add one more point that students and friends, in case you're not able to write the BEC examination right now and you enter, say, January 24, and then you're planning to write it, don't worry, your backs are covered. We have already created the content for the CPA evolution also, and we are ready with everything from the entire examination piece to various types of simulation and the multiple choice questions, etc. Everything is ready with Becker right now. Obviously, we can't show it to you right now. We'll open it in the month of January 24 only, or maybe a few months before that when students start preparing for the new BEC examination.
Yes, and that is why, you should not be worried about. You are in good hands. Just think about doing it, and come on to us. We're happy to help you in whatsoever way possible. Now, coming on to Christian, we have touched upon the subjects also. Can we briefly talk on the exam structure? Just to give them a flavor in terms of what the exam structure is, because I think that would pretty much cover the entire content that we needed to cover for the day.
Yeah, thank you, Pankaj. And when it comes to the exam structure, as I mentioned to you, that 60% of the questions in the examination are multiple choice or multiple task-based questions, and 40% are based on simulations. Please understand that students, the simulation part as well as the multiple choice, both are really very important for you. So you should be able to manage your time to write the multiple choice questions, because they will be time taking. It cannot be that, okay, option A looks good, so let me just tick it. No, you can't do that, right? You need to spend a good time on each and every question which is there in the examination. And what we suggest is that you should be able to spend at least 2 to 3 minutes, right, on each of the questions. So if, say, for example, there are 60 questions, you will take 180 minutes, which is like 3 hours to complete the MCQs only. Just understand, 2.5 to 3 minutes. And then beyond that, you will be taking some time to complete the simulations. And that should be pretty like 20 minutes to 25 minutes for each. So practically within 4 hours, you should be able to complete the examination. Just remember, none of the questions in each of the examinations would be theory based. No theory will be asked to you, right? Nobody will ask you what is financial accounting or how do you record the assets. No, such questions will not come in front of you. Nobody will ask you what is working capital management, but you might have a question on working capital management wherein you have to actually go ahead and calculate things. right? You have to calculate the current assets, current liabilities, and accordingly define the working capital for the organization. Or maybe if there are questions on NPV or IRR or whatever areas which are being covered in the examination, everything would be very much practical and application based. So whatever you prepare for your examination, right, just remember whatever your faculties are going to teach you, as well as in the Becker content, we have got the best of the faculties who are going to teach you. And one more thing which is really very important for you to understand is, though there are videos which are there in the Becker content, but those are highly interactive videos. When you will see those videos, you will say those faculties actually interacting with you. So those are very, very practical videos. But whatever you are preparing for, just remember, if you go through the Becker's content properly, right, you have completed the entire course through that content and the additional sessions which will be given to you by Fintram. And then basis that, you should have attempted a certain set of questions. For example, you should have attempted and passed at least 80% of your MCQs, right? At least 80% of your simulation exams. Then only the system will allow you to go ahead and write the examination, right? As I said, very practical, very, very application based, no theory, and time management is the key when you are attempting an examination like CPA. Just remember that whatever examinations we have done till now in our careers have been general exams. This is a highly professional exam, and there is a system which is going to manage your time also. So just remember that. Don't worry, it's a very, very flexible qualification and very practical, and it will not give you any kind of discomfort if you are preparing well for the examination. So that's something which I wanted to share, Pankaj. Yeah.
I think it's all the more important, Christian, for people to understand that this is one of the most flexible course. You have to give 4 exams, and you can give any exam out of this 4 at one point in time. So prepare for one exam, and of course, we at Fintram will guide you in terms of which should come first and which should come second, and so on and so forth. And why is that is that good for you? We'll guide you in terms of what would be the best fit for you in terms of going your journey ahead or taking your journey ahead. And then you can prepare for one exam, appear for one exam. It generally takes like what and that is another question that I had, was which I really wanted to answer, that how much time it really takes. 3 months is the time which we feel is something that you would need in terms of preparing for one subject. In 3 to 4 months of time, you're ready to hit the exam. And we have done the content, you have practiced the questions, you have practiced the mock by that time, and you should be there in terms of killing the exam in the best possible way. One thing that I really want to call out over here is that while you would certainly get the best of the content in terms of the material, in terms of the sessions from the Becker, in terms of what you really need to know, there are the icing on the cake is that Fintram will be providing you the weekend sessions wherein we'll be coming live, discussing the juice notes of all of those areas, talking on all of those topics, talking on in the context of industry, talking on in the context of practical things that are happening around the world, and giving you the examples so that it really sticks onto your mind, and giving you the tips and tricks, and of course taking the queries and the concerns that you may have in terms of understanding the topic in the best possible way. So in addition to, of course, the recorded content, you would get the live online sessions on the weekends. And towards the end, we will be coming up, for various sessions on the simulations, doubt clearing, and of course the mock exam, the revert on the mock exam as to what has gone wrong and what can be improved, and so on and so forth, to really help you get the right flair so that you can really hit the exam in the best possible way. So there is a lot, my friend, that you really have to grasp and consume, and of course deliver to the best extent possible, and you should certainly be looking forward to it. I think Christian, we really covered a lot from the standpoint of what I really had in my mind. I think now we should let the group open up if there is any question for us to really answer. I think we have covered all of the aspects wherein we keep getting the questions from the folks. But guys, if there is anything that you may have, feel free to drop in a chat onto it, and we'll be happy to pick it up. For the guys who are seeing us on the YouTube, if there is anything that really comes your way, just drop a note on the comment box, and we'll be happy to pick it up. Guys, if there is somebody from the Fintram team who is available, just pick up those questions and bring it on over here, and we'll be picking up and answering that.
Yeah. I think, Pankaj, there are 2 questions which are there. One from Ganga Ramesh, that can ACCA affiliates with BCom write AICPA without other degrees? And the other one is doing US CPA after doing CA is worth or not, right? So I think both the questions are slightly similar to each other. So thought of putting it together. You would like to answer that, Pankaj?
No, go ahead, go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. So ACCA affiliates and chartered accountants, yes, you can very well write the AICP examination. There is no problem at all. And for the Indian CS, obviously, an international qualification like CPA it will be working like icing on the cake, as Pankaj also did the CPA qualification after his chartered accountancy only. Why CPA is worth for you is because there are so many international organizations which are coming to India, and they are looking forward to the local talent, and our talent is now very much sought after by the industry as a whole. So they are looking forward to our people. One thing just wanted to share with you is that the CPA qualification is for the US organizations as well as the multinational corporations. Obviously, Indian companies who are looking forward to going global and working in US and the other parts of the world will also look forward to the CPA qualified individuals. However, for example, if there's a US organization which is coming to India today, or maybe you are going to US right after your CA, they might not be able to immediately recognize you, because what they recognize is the CPA qualification, and in their understanding, CPA is the qualification which is being pursued by people in US and worldwide. So it is always good for you to have a qualification which is actually helpful in terms of you getting the recognition from the industry, from these large corporations. And I'm not saying that or undermining that the other qualification cannot take you to that place. Definitely it can. However, the path after CPA would be much more shorter for you. You can do it quickly because obviously CPA qualified individuals are recognized across so many countries worldwide, 196 countries. And then the power of the alumni network or the family of 450,000 people. So you can imagine it's a very powerful organization, and CPA in itself is not only an examination, it becomes your qualification, and it also becomes your designation once you complete it. So practically, CPA added after your name, after your CA or ACCA or any other course that you have done, will make yourself more powerful, right? Practically. And then definitely the world is open. You may go ahead and do more courses and more qualifications, because practically all of us need to learn newer things on a regular basis. And sometimes we have to unlearn and then relearn for our own futures. So today, everybody is looking forward to newer courses. Tomorrow, some more newer courses will come, but keep on upgrading yourself, updating yourself, and get more certifications to keep yourself relevant in the market. CPA will give you that relevance. That much I can tell you. Yeah.
I would like to add on one thing over here, Christian, and
Yes,
this is
Pankaj.
more coming from my own self. Yuvraj, I can tell you one thing, is doing US CPA worth after doing CPA? I'm a classical example for it, my friend. I did my chartered accountancy and then started off CPA, and God was kind on me, and of course I completed my CPA in one go. At that point in time, exam used to happen in US. It was never, you have a flexibility, my friend, getting on in India, in Delhi, in Mumbai, and wheresoever, to go and just give the exam. I went to US, and that point in time, 20 years back, going to US, staying in a hotel, the expense that you really need to have at the back of your mind, and giving the exams, there was an undue pressure that was there at the back of your mind, which is not there. But even after taking that toll, the benefit that I had with this qualification is just out of the world. It didn't even helped me to really get the a very different level of salary, but it also helped me to get a very different level of speed for my growth. So my promotions, my designations, my speed by which I really grew in various organizations was huge. And that's the beauty, when you get these kind of qualification at an early age, the world really recognizes you. The companies really recognize you, and they know you, the kind of value that you bring on table, and they really somewhere relish, and of course give you what you really deserve at that point in time. And that is what you really need to understand, that having an international tag, international qualification along with your Indian qualification adds up a very different value. And I've not seen in myself, of course, I am the example because I did it for myself. I have various students, my friend, various students in the last 20 years of time who have done their CA, and after they have done their CPA, many of them have not even completed their CA, but completed their CPA. And they are, I can tell you without naming them, they are now the finance heads of various organizations. And I take proud in being their faculty, being their mentor, because they did what they did with the help of an international qualification, that is US CPA. So we have the next one coming, Christian, your way. Which is the best for BCom student, CMA or US CPA? Actually, by choosing out one is really gonna be difficult, my friend Daljit. But this kind of a tricky question I have to give to Christian on this.
Thank you so much, Pankaj, and thank you, Daljit, for asking me this tricky question. But yes, Daljit, I wanted to share with you, and I'm sure you're also aware of it, that CMA is a management accounting course, CPA is a public accounting course. A public accounting course is more vast. It covers various facets of accounting, and what happens is you become a wholesome accounting and finance professional. However, CMA is more focused on the management accounting side, and we understand that management accounting is also very, very important when it comes to making a career in the industry. It is the field in which the accountants practically prepare the reports and help the management in taking the right decisions, right? So management accounting is focused on that side. And also management accounting can, a CMA kind of a course can give you a career in the areas wherein costing is really very important. So it can be a production organization, it can be a manufacturing organization, right? Or maybe a service organization wherein costing plays a major role. And there are various such organizations. So it has got its own niche and its own areas wherein you will have the opportunity to work for. However, for a CPA, when you go for a public accounting kind of a course, you practically can get into any field, any areas, any industry, right? So all the industries would be able to welcome you because you have got a CPA qualification, which is towards the public accounting side. Without undermining any of them, both have their own importance, and practically both are quite useful when it comes to making a good career in the industry, US CMA or CPA. However, if you don't have much time, right, to spend, then US CMA is the easier option. You can very well start the same during your graduation, and by the time you finish your graduation, you would have completed your US CMA. However, for CPA, you can start it after your 16 years of education only, which means that you will be at least 20, 21, or 22 when you are practically starting your CPA qualification, right? So understand the difference between both the courses. And in fact, there are various other courses which can be pursued after your 10+2. The biggest differentiator is the 21 or 22 years old guy would be much more matured. So practically, in case you are doing your BCom right now, or you do not have the 16 years of qualification right now, go ahead with US CMA, get that qualification, and then you do your US CPA also, add on to it. You will be more powerful, you'll be more respected, and you'll have more opportunities in both sides of the world. Yeah, that's my suggestion. Yes, Pankaj.
That's the reason, Christian, I wanted you to answer this tricky question, because this one no one could have answered better than you, because you actually, really, brought out a very important point, that both the qualifications have their own positives. There is nothing, it is not you versus me. It is about us in this kind of a scenario, wherein CMA is more viable and legible and a smart move for the folks who are doing the graduation right now at this point in time. And once you've done the graduation, then the right move is to have US CPA as a qualification, because that would add a very different flavor and a value and a tag onto your career. And couldn't agree more on that, because that's how one should be looking onto it. And of course, there is no comparison as such in terms of what you can certainly get a job after CMA also and after our CPA also. Both of them are valued in the market. But of course, you have to make your own choice as to, do you want to have a Jeep, or do you want to have a truck, or you want to have a car? It is your decision, and everything is right.
Yeah, I think Rohan is asking.
CPA acceptable in Canada? Answer is absolutely yes, Rohan. It is very well accepted in Canada. In fact, if you are a US CPA, you would get job right away in Canada. You can just go and start working over there. There is no doubt on that, Rohan. Just go and get the Canadian visa and get it on. In fact, I can tell you it is very much acceptable in India too, my friend. You name the country in which it is not acceptable. It is acceptable everywhere, considering it's a US qualification, right?
As I said, 196 countries, and if you look at the map, I think there'll be only few countries which nobody would like to enter into.
So while I'm putting my general knowledge, in front of camera right now, but I think there are what 204 countries or 203 countries in total, right?
203 now.
203, yeah.
They were
203.
204. I think they subtracted one in between, and
So,
now it is 203. But talking about the rest seven, I don't want to name them. It's very easy to identify. Everybody knows who are these countries.
so guys, 196 countries, you will be a chartered accountant. Guys, what the hell we are thinking about? It is the time to take a move, right? All right, just in the interest of time, guys, any other questions anyone may have before I ask Mr. Mishra to, to really, of course, thanking him and of course asking him to leave because, of course, he would have another meeting coming up his way. Any other question, guys? Before we really wrap up, we still have a couple of more minutes. I do not want to leave Mr. Mishra without answering anything that you may need. What about overall fees? Yes. So, Venkatesh, we can certainly take up this question, separately. There are various components of the fees that is involved in CPA, right from the registration to evaluation and of course to the examination fees. And of course, another one thing that really comes up is the preparation fees. If I really have to give you a ballpark figure in terms of, what the overall expense of US CPA is going to be, it's going to be around 3.5 lakhs or so. That's what we have seen, and of course, it is dependent on the dollar rate moving here and there. And of course, which one who, you would choose for your preparation. But it is around 3.5 lakh is something that we expect the total fees to be. We can certainly talk on the bifurcation of this fees in terms of, what is that going to be. And of course, you can reach out to Fintram. We will be providing you all the details of Fintram, of this video. And guys, if some, and I can just, type it out over here also in terms of, telling you that, where you can reach, for us to, to reach out to us and of course, ask anything that you may want. I'm just writing out over here just to ensure that, you get the number of Fintram also, so that, you can reach out to anyone and, they can really help you in terms of knowing that, knowing all the details about US CPA. You can reach out to fintram.com and get all the details from there. Any other questions, guys? Anyone have? One of my friends suggested me to do US CPA next year after the changes in BEC. Kindly suggest what should I do in terms of what could be benefit. Avneet, we already covered this, my friend. We have covered this already. This question has already been covered. There is no point delaying your US CPA. You should start it right away. As I said, change is only coming in BEC, wherein you have to choose one. Even if you'll start now, you can clear your 3 exams and give BEC in the year 2024 if you want the newer version of BEC to be handled by you. If not, clear BEC right now, then next year would not even touch you. But on the whole, do not waste time, because wasting time is not going to be helping anyone. So do not waste time. You have to start your journey right away. Any other thing, guys? Anyone has?
Yeah, I think there are no further questions, Pankaj. We have been able to cover a lot of things. Oh, somebody is asking.
Venkatesh, we have covered this. How many months is needed? I would say 3 to 4 months is the time that is needed for preparing one exam. Even if you're working, it is absolutely fine to devote 3 to 4 months of time and be prepared for one exam, not to be worried. And there is nothing that is needed beyond that. Of course, only thing that is needed is that you need to be serious about clearing this. And the more you would be serious and more you would put effort on, the more earlier you can finish this. All right, guys, just in the interest of time, and of course, I know, Krishan, that you would, certainly need to get into another meeting. So, I would, on the behalf of entire Fintram team, and of course, on the behalf of student fraternity at large, I would like to thank you for taking out time and being here. And of course, supporting our kids, supporting our folks, knowing more and more about CPA, and of course, about Becker, as an organization, and of course, the benefit that Becker really brings on to the table for CA students. As I said, I completely echo your thoughts on that, being a Becker student, Becker faculty, and now Becker learning partner. So, more than happy to help students in any ways possible, guys. If you need any support, any help, reach out to fintram.com. I've provided the details in the chat. You can reach out to us. The number is also provided. And of course, you can reach out to fintram.com and we'll be more than happy to pick it up and support you in your CPA journey, because together we can ace the CPA exam. Together, we'll ace it.
Thank you so much, Pankaj. Thank you. And thanks to the students for a patient hearing. And looking forward to meeting you as a CPA student very soon. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Have a good day.